What is AI art? Is it art? Is it bad? Is it dangerous? Should we stop it? Can we stop it? Will it destroy civilization? Yes, but that's not what this video is about. This video is how I made this drawing, which is a physical, real drawing made with ink and brush, and why it is AI art and what I learned from doing it. I will not be going into the environmental impact of AI art. I will not be going into too much of how we are pushed AI onto us. I will only be talking about AI image generation using LLMs. Other tools we can't avoid because we're getting these tools pushed on us from all sides. Now, I'm not a Luddite. I am a technophile. I absolutely love technology. When I started working as a professional artist in 2004, the first thing I bought was a Wacom tablet. And for many years, I worked almost exclusively in digital art. And now I work almost exclusively with my brush because I'm having more fun with my brush for now. But when I started hearing about AI art, I didn't quite take it seriously. So a friend of mine, Zbigniew Bielak, sorry for the pronunciation, is a great artist, has worked with Mayhem and Ghost, and amazing guy. And he was at my studio with his girlfriend Maria, also a great artist, and he was really worried about AI art. And this was at the very start of the new AI art wave a few years ago. And I just laughed it off because, I make art with my hands and I have a connection with my audience, so I didn't feel threatened. And I said to him that if you're so worried about AI, you have to just play around with it. You have to try it out in order to know how you really feel about it. A few months later, I messaged him, and we kept this discussion ongoing online. And I messaged him, and he just went, "No, I'm done with AI. I'm done talking about it. I'm done thinking about it." I don't know if he ever took my advice and tried it out, but he was done. The problem was, at that time, I had started to fear AI. Not because of it taking my job, because I don't think I'm one of those artists who, I think really I can gain from AI art. My type of art can become more valuable because of AI slop. But I was worried on a more existential level. And because I had to take my advice and apply it to myself. So that's how I started messing around with AI art. And I want to first go through 3 different things that I learned from messing around with it that I wouldn't necessarily have understood if I hadn't spent all that time messing around with it. Then I also want to I must have eaten something. I also want to show you how this art was done and why it's AI and why it counts, why it matters. Now, the first thing you have to understand about AI art is that we can't use copyright to stop it. Right now, And it is a copyright violation. All the art that's made by AI art generators is copyright violations. They've been trained on copyrighted works. And right now, Disney and Universal are suing some of the AI art companies. And if they win, it will be a disaster because of how copyright works. Now, I'm for copyright reform, radical copyright reform, and I make free art under a Creative Commons license. But the problem with AI and copyright is that if our current copyright law is applied to AI art, to the training of AI art generators, I can't say the word generators, then all we will be doing is give a monopoly on AI art tools to companies like Disney and Microsoft, and especially Microsoft, because they are pouring billions into AI development while cutting art jobs. I mean, this week they cut thousands of jobs from their successful gaming division in order to finance their AI madness. And this will continue, but in a copyrighted or copyright royalty respecting AI art world, Microsoft and Disney and a few others are the only ones that have enough IP, have enough intellectual property that they own, so that they can actually train an AI legally. And whatever you think about AI art, it will not be better controlled by Microsoft or Disney or Adobe. Okay. The second thing I understood is no matter how much you hate AI art, you actually love AI art. What you hate is capitalism. And I'm not going to go into a ideological discussion here. By capitalism, I only mean the current system, global system we're stuck in. You can call it consumerism or corporatism or techno-feudalism. Call it what you will. It is what the system is doing to art that you hate. Actually, making AI art is fascinating. It's magic. You're typing some words in and something comes back as if by magic. And oftentimes it's wrong in the most hilarious ways. And it's just fascinating, and it's lovely, and it's super cool. I wish it wouldn't have such an environmental impact, and I'm not saying that you should use AI art, but pretending that it isn't cool isn't turning those who all too readily use it away from it. The problem with AI art is that the commodification of art, and the commodification of art has been happening under capitalism for oh so long. And it's happening in the high art market, which is just speculation these days. And it's happening in all the lowbrow popular art forms. So yeah, if you are working in animation or computer games or anywhere else where you as an artist is just a tool for other people's creativity, then you should be afraid for your job. But not just because of AI, because those jobs that are being cut because of AIs are the same jobs that was cut and shipped over to a cheaper support studio in Singapore. And when the Singaporeans become too good at making it and can demand more money, it's shipped off somewhere else, somewhere cheaper. Artists being tools for capitalists, for owners, is hurting art. And it's taking artists' jobs. And yes, it will be worse with AI art, but that's not really, that's a problem with capitalism, not with AI art. The final thing I learned, and I've been quarreling with people online about this because I made some videos and I said that AI art is the opposite of creativity. And a lot of people who are invested in AI art, either because they are AI art bros or because they use it as a means of expression, thought I was very naughty for saying that it's the opposite of creativity, because who am I to define creativity? I'm a person who works creatively, and I think a lot about this. Creativity, for me, is...
Ring, ring.
My phone is ringing, sorry.
This is Kim from the future. At this point, my wife called me because we were going to Spain the day after this recording. And now I've been a week and a half in Spain with the flu all the time. So, yay! But it's a good point to say, please support by clicking the bell icon, subscribing. I think that's in the other direction. And also patreon.com/KimHolm. And supporting by becoming a YouTube member and going to denungeherholm.com and buying art and merch. Yes, back to the video.
Where was I? For me, creativity is the act of putting two thoughts or ideas or concepts together in a new way to create something. It is not just fantasy or imagination. It's not just creation. It is the application of your fantasy, your imagination, to create something that is yours. And the way I like to illustrate this is by taking two different concepts or ideas. One is the sun, and the other is mud. Now, if you just put them together, you will get dry mud. But all over the world, through history, different civilizations, different cultures have put mud and the sun together and made bricks, the building blocks, literally, of civilization. And you might say that a brick is just a brick. But when someone discovered or invented bricks, which has happened many times through history, they invented their form of brick and their limitations in their climate, in their economy, in their tastes and personality and ideals. All of this was put into their special form of brick. And by studying these bricks, archaeologists can say really profound things about different cultures. bricks aren't just bricks because they were made with creativity. But when you make AI art, what you're doing is using your words. And let me get this straight. You can be super imaginative in the words you put down, and you can work hard with getting all the right prompts and understanding how that AI program works, and all of that stuff. Wonderful. Good on you. But at the end of the day, you are taking your thoughts into one medium, which is words, and then you're giving those words to someone else, and they're giving something back to you. So that isn't the art of creation. It is being a producer, being commissioning art. And there's a reason why artists and producers have fought so long. It's because it's different ways of thinking. And a good producer will make a space where the artist can be creative, while a bad producer will take the credit for the artist's work and will think that they are the creative person themselves. It's this kind of like, yeah, I sat on the sofa smoking bongs and dreaming up ideas all day, so I'm super creative, man. And that works for Seth Rogen because he actually got off his ass and did shit. But just having the idea isn't the creative part. We all have ideas. The creative part... Let's wait with the creative part for just a little bit. Because some of you will say, yeah, but you're not giving it to another person. Our human minds are not trained to see things that we put words to as anything else than a person. I mean, we're trained to see sentience. From nature, we're trained to see sentience all around. We curse the skies when it starts to rain, and we scream at our computer when it refuses to obey our commands, because we perceive the world as sentient. So when there's something where you literally can talk to it and it will give you a reply back, your brain isn't trained to know, no matter how much you know that it's a computer intellectually, that it's AI intellectually, your brain isn't trained, isn't ready to know that. Your brain thinks it's a person in that sense. It acts, it feels like it's a person. So, creativity is not asking another person and getting something back. It is sitting down and working with your limitations and applying your experience, your tastes, your fingerprints to what you make. And because of how you are different from every other person, the result will be different from any other result. And it can be good and it can be bad, but it's you. And the more you work with creativity, the more you the work becomes. But if you are working with AI, no matter if you're super creative in all the different things you put into the AI, the way AI works is that it gives you sort of a Frankenstein's monster of other people's creativity and puts them together in a new, unique way, but it's still sort of an average of all the other art that it has been trained on. And the way we work as humans, when we perceive a lot of something, when we get input, it influences us. So while working creatively will ultimately make your creative output more and more you, working with AI art is going to make you or your output less and less you over time. And that's a fundamental problem that you can't solve using AI art. Abusing AI art is something different. Of course, you can be creative abusing it, but using the tools as they are presented to us will damage your creativity and will damage the creativity of our society as a whole. Just before I explain how this is an AI artwork, I have to tackle the question about is AI art? Because someone says, oh, it's just images. But that's a shitty definition. Of course it's art. If your definition of art is too complicated to explain to a 4-year-old, then it's a shitty definition. Because when that 4-year-old comes with a book of her favorite art, says, Daddy, isn't this wonderful? When did I get a daughter? Okay. Anyhow, when she says, isn't it wonderful? You can't reply, yeah, but it isn't art. It was created by a machine. It's art. It's just not human art. I mean, if it walks like a duck and quacks like a duck, but isn't a duck, it's art. That's how simple it has to be. Now, this AI art piece. Now, if we rewind all the way back to the beginning, then you will see that, of course, I am using a reference image that is created by AI, but that's not the whole deal. I actually, a lot of people, when I was making this, I was talking about with them about the ideal use of AI to make art, and a lot of people said, yeah, the wrong thing is if you let the AI do the work, but it's okay to get inspiration from it. And I had this sneaking feeling that that was wrong, because at that time I had sat down and I had put my thoughts and ideas into AI, and I had gotten images back, and it was really cool, and it was really exciting, and it was awesome, and I didn't feel any ownership to them. I saw that this is cool. I trained Firefly on Adobe Firefly on my art as reference style, so I got it in my style, and it looked weird, and at some point it will look better, but I got it back, and it wasn't mine, because I didn't do the work, and because I've done so much creative work, I knew how to separate those two feelings. But I was also suspicious about this idea that if you're just using it for inspiration, then that's somehow okay. So what I did was I sat down and had a talk with an AI. I use ChatGPT and PI, which is personal intelligence, I think the app is called. And I asked it, I fed it a lot of information about me, and I asked it to design an image for me, to come up with an idea for me. And it didn't want to do that. It actually said that, no, I can't do that because I'm just a machine, and that sounds like fraud. So I had to convince the AI that, no, actually, the art project in itself is the fact that you're trying to be me. And eventually, I got it to come up with this idea as if it was me talking about my depressions and personal stuff and bipolar and all of that. And then I created all the different elements of I didn't create, I had the AI create. See how difficult language is. All the different elements that the AI had asked for. The AI also made the prompts for me, and we had to break it down because it was too many prompts for the image generators at that time. And I got all the elements together in a style that was based on my references. And in Photoshop, I cut and pasted those together, and then I painted it. And the fascinating thing is that when I was done, when I I always do this enso, this sign at this sun or infinity or something in the corner of the image when I suspect that the artwork may be spiritual in some way, that it may have a spiritual significance. And with this one, I put down the enso and it worked magically, which means that the gods, the fates, chance, chaos had accepted the artwork. And I was really satisfied. I had done such a good job. And I looked down at the artwork, and I wasn't there. It wasn't me. It wasn't mine. I had just been a tool for the creativity of a machine. And I like this drawing. I think it came out very well. But when I look at it, I fucking hate it. And it's been well over a year, probably 1.5 years, since I finished this piece. And all that time I've been thinking about what it means. Why do I hate it? Why isn't it me? What will happen when Hollywood producers and video game executives and other parasites can more and more just eliminate the creative geniuses that work their asses off to save art from these imbeciles. What happens when these executive producers can just get their creativity out in the world without the interference of artists? I don't know. But I know it won't be good.